Welcome back, Pokemon fans. Angel of the Night here. We are back again with the Grand Challenge 2025, Part 1, and this is battle number 40. So we're going to get into our last few remaining battles here in this competition. We're going to be seeing a Typhlosion and an Annihilate coming into play, and of course we're going to come in with our own Pokemon, Maushold and Tauros. Now of course this is not necessarily the best matchup due to the fact that the Intimidate has activated the Defiant on the Annihilate, and as well, both Pokemon on the opposing side are of the Ghost type, which means that Maushold is not capable of actually doing anything here to the opposing side unless they actually go for the bite. From here, I'm thinking to myself, Tauros is going to have to go for the Terrestrial into Fairy, and then of course be able to attack two Pokemon at once. From there, the Maushold of course pretty much just has the bite. Typhlosion of course being recalled back to our opponent's team, and in comes the Dondozo. Now you guys pretty much know by this point how I feel about Dondozo. Not really big into that Pokemon. Annihilate coming in with the close combat into the Maushold, being able to pick up the KO, one-hit knockout basically, normal type and all. Not really looking good for me so far. We come in with the Rock Slide, and of course that is able to hit the two opposing Pokemon at once. And of course we also see that the Dondozo happens to have leftovers. Now leftovers of course are going to be able to regain health back to the Dondozo every turn, and of course the defensive drops from the Annihilate with that close combat might actually potentially help us out at some point. From there of course we do bring in our Zebstrika, and of course we might be able to do something with our Zebstrika. We're going to go in for the Terrestrial of Fairy, go for the Raging Bull into the Annihilate. Annihilate of course being withdrawn back to the party, and look who it is. Tatsugiri. Oh, I hate this Pokemon so freaking much. Tatsugiri, and having the Commander ability, basically Dondozo is going to eat it up, and it's going to boost up every stat possible. Oh my god, of course. I could rip and rant, but I don't know what that's going to do to them at this point. It doesn't really do anything. So anyways, here we go with the Terrestrial of Fairy. That way we might be able to resist the Annihilate that had been there prior, but of course we've got the Dondozo on the other side, and Dondozo of course is a water type Pokemon. Here we go with the Supercell Slam. Not going to do as much as we had hoped because it has eaten the little Tatsugiri fish and boosted all his stats. From there, the Dondozo has gone in for the Earthquake. That's going to be able to hit the two Pokemon on my team, knocking out the Zebstrika. And of course, the Tatsugiri is unaffected because he's actually inside the big old belly of that Dondozo. So here we go with the Raging Bull, and of course, the Tauros isn't able to hit anything because the Annihilate was swapped out for the Tatsugiri. Okay, a little bit of leftovers back to the Dondozo there, and of course we're going to come in now with our Amoonguss. Amoonguss coming onto the field should be able to go for a clear Smog at some point if we actually are smart enough to pull that off. We go with the close combat into the Dondozo, and of course we do end up selecting the clear Smog. Luckily, I did think about doing that, which is huge. Sometimes I don't always think about doing that. So anyways, they've gone in for the Tera change into Grass, and of course they're going to be able to resist a few things. But, you know what? We do happen to have a Raging Bull. If we actually managed to do that move, that might have actually helped us out if we were able to hold speed. That would have been cool too. But we end up losing our Tauros here in this situation, and the only Pokemon that I have on my team left to take on all four is Amoonguss. It is not looking good there for us there, folks, so we end up getting our clear Smog, eliminating all statuses on the Dondozo. And luckily for us, they're actually a Grass type right now, which means that we could technically go for a Sludge Bomb. So I think if I'm not mistaken, that's exactly what we do here. We go for the Sludge Bomb in hopes that we might be able to take out this Dondozo. They ended up going for the Protect, and the Protect is actually going to resist any moves coming in, so we're not going to be able to get any damage this turn. And they're basically scouting to see what we are doing. Okay, a little bit of leftovers coming back from the Dondozo side. And of course, we're going to lock in here again to the Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb, of course, if it does actually manage to hit, might actually do quite a bit of damage now that its stats are different. They've gone for the Order Up, which is actually going to boost up the attack stat of the Dondozo, but we actually managed to get a super effective Sludge Bomb off, and we're able to pick up the KO, so woohoo, Amoonguss! Amoonguss for the win! But Tatsugiri, of course, is still on the opposing side, so we might actually have to end up playing a little bit of Spore attacks here. might actually have to do some of that stuff. But Typhlosion comes back onto the field, and of course it is a fire-type Pokemon, and we do not have the ability to terrestrialize. So we end up selecting up the Spore. Here's an Icy Wind coming from the opposing side. That's actually going to drop our speed here as well. Luckily didn't pick up the KO, but could have potentially frozen. And of course Typhlosion going for the Eruption. So that is actually going to end up being game. So good game to my opponent. You know, Dindozo Tatsugiri guys, not a big fan of them, but you know how I feel. But hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, give it a big thumbs up, post your comments, and I'll see you guys next time.